Okay, so this article that I'm about to start reading is called The Effect of Bilingualism on Writing Ability. So it sounds definitely related to the conversations and readings we've seen in class about language difference and academic writing. I know that much. I haven't heard of this author and I'm not sure where this is published, so I'm going to go look. Okay, it looks like it's published in a place called Young Scholars in Writing. Let me look that up and see if I can find out any information on the publication. I'm going to their website, Young Scholars in Writing, and I see an About tab about this journal. Okay, it says here Young Scholars in Writing, Undergraduate Research in Writing and Rhetoric, publishes research articles written by undergraduates on topics related to rhetoric and writing. Okay, so this is a research article that's written by an undergraduate student. Cool. We have not seen one of those before. So I know that this is an undergrad student and she's writing a research article. Let's see what it's about. The goal of this study is to determine whether or not individuals who identify as bilingual have more advanced writing skills than individuals of the same educational level who identify as monolingual. Interesting. The importance of this study lies in the realm of education. Our cities are becoming increasingly globalized, which means that teachers must meet more linguistic needs than ever before. This is sounding quite a bit like what Patanayak and Warnock were saying in the Bad Ideas About Writing pieces that we've read before. So I'm hearing echoes of them as I'm reading. And I'll see if there's other similarities that come up. The results of this study and others like it can help determine which method of teaching, subtractive or additive bilingualism. I'm not quite sure what those are, what the difference is, but I bet she's going to tell me later, so I'll keep reading. Is most beneficial to students learning multiple languages and to students who only know one language. In order to determine what effect, if any, bilingualism has on writing ability, bilingual and monolingual junior and senior level university students, N equals 4, so that means that there's 4 students who took part in this study, submitted academic writing samples that are assessed via both a rubric and a holistic reading by a third-party grader. Okay, so it sounds like she's comparing writing ability based on rubric results. Not sure how accurate that's going to be, but I'll keep reading. The rubric results are then compared, and a relationship is determined between writing ability based on the rubric and the language classification of the participants. So, what I'm wondering right now, the big question I have right now after reading this abstract paragraph here is, does bilingualism have any effect on writing ability, and is that effect positive or negative? I'm going to skim the setup of this article to see if there are any structural clues here. Okay, I see that after the introduction, there's a literature review, so I know that she's going to spend quite a bit of time here um, synthesizing previous sources who have written on this topic, and that fits with the structure that a lot of research articles have. And then methods and participants, that makes sense. This is an original research study. Design, she's going to talk about study design, materials, procedure, and results. So results, here's when I can expect her to tell me whether there's positive or negative effects on writing ability. And this table also gives me a little bit of a hint. The table's comparing the monolingual scores to the bilingual scores. And it looks like here that the bilingual students are scoring lower on structure and organization, however, higher on grammar and mechanics. So maybe her big finding is that the effect on writing ability is mixed, but somewhat advantageous. Not sure. I'm going to go back to the beginning here and start reading the introduction. The effect of bilingualism on students and teachers in classrooms across the United States is a controversial issue for many reasons. One significant reason is that American society is becoming increasingly globalized. There are minority groups in the United States now than there ever have been. Yeah, Patanayak says something similar in her Bad Ideas About Writing piece, so this makes sense. With higher percentages of minority students in classrooms come new languages, new cultures, and new experiences that teachers previously did not have to address. Teachers are responsible for teaching students who may never have been to public school and who may never have spoken English before they stepped into that classroom. So again, she's honing in on how language difference is becoming more and more common in classrooms, like Pat and Nyack did. Several approaches exist for teaching students who identify as learning English as their second language, ESL. Some educators prefer dual language methods, also called two-way bilingual programs, and some prefer the method of immersion or subtractive bilingualism. Okay, here's where she's getting into that difference between subtractive and additive bilingualism that she mentioned up here. So she's going to clarify for me. This can create for students a preference for their second language. L2, I see as the abbreviation for second language, over their native language, L1. The bilingual and immersion models, additive and subtractive respectively, are classified, quote, depending on the role that the native language plays in instruction. Additive models add English instruction to native language instruction, whereas subtractive models focus on transitioning English learners to English immersion programs as rapidly as possible and then subtracting native language instruction. Okay, so from what I can tell here, the subtractive stuff sounds a lot like the code switching model that Patanayak and Young were critiquing, where they say that students need to leave their home languages or dialects at home and replace them kind of with school discourse as they get to school. I'm going to stop here for now.